Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from Group 3 and today we would like to present an article entitled Early Childhood Trauma and its Long-Term Impact on Cognitive and Emotional Development, a systematic review and meta-analysis by Lin Feng and Tian Huka, which published in Annals of Medicine in 2025. Let us begin a brief overview of the study. This article discusses early childhood trauma and its long-term impact on children's cognitive and emotional development. The study explored various forms of trauma, including physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional neglect, bullying, caregiver separation, and exposure to violence, and how this experience influences children's memory, thinking abilities, and emotional well-being over time. The main objectives of this research are to identify the relationship between early childhood trauma and cognitive functions such as memory, attention, and executive function. In addition, the study aims to investigate the neurobiological effect to trauma on brain structure and function, as well as to analyze its impact on emotional development, including emotion, regulation, and the risk of anxiety and depression.
In terms of methodology, this research used a systematic review and meta-analysis approach based on PRISMA guidelines. The data were collected from several academic databases such as Google Scholar, PubMed, and the Cochrane Library. From an initial 465 studies, only 9 studies met the inclusion criteria and were selected for further analysis. The data were then analyzed using our software with a random effect model, focusing on aspects such as attention, memory, and emotional regulation. The findings of this study show that early childhood trauma has a significant impact on both cognitive and emotional development, with a relatively high effect size. However, the results also indicate variability across different studies. The discussion further explained that children who experience trauma tend to have difficulties in attention, memory, and executive function. They also struggle with recognizing and regulating their emotion. Furthermore, the study highlights that certain interventions such as neurofeedback training can help reduce trauma symptoms and improve cognitive functioning. However, it is also emphasized that additional intervention and continuous support are still necessary.
Despite its important findings, the study has several limitations. These include variations in research design, the use of retrospective self-report, which may lead to recall bias, and then the differences in sample size and the lack of considerations of cultural and contextual factors. In terms of implication, the study emphasized the importance of early detection of trauma in children. It also highlights the need for appropriate interventions such as cognitive behavioral therapy and family-based support. Moreover, a multidisciplinary approach involving educators, psychologists, and policymakers is essential in addressing childhood trauma effectively. So, in conclusion, early childhood trauma has significant long-term effects on cognitive and emotional development, and this effect may persist into adulthood. Therefore, early identification and proper intervention are crucial to support children's development and well-being.
That's all from our presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.